dying embers of human existence. As the asteroid, a behemoth the size of Texas, hurtles relentlessly toward Earth, the world braces for an apocalyptic end. Deep beneath the bunker, a refuge plunges into the bowels of the Earth. Here the chosen gather, their purpose clear, to preserve the very soul of our civilization. The 35 and 70 millimeter prints that encapsulate the magic, the emotion, and the dreams of generations past. These masterpieces, each frame a testament to the human spirit, are carefully cataloged and cradled in the cavernous confines of the bunker. Perhaps there was room for more. For friends and family yearning for salvation, but sacrifices must be made. The movie nerds stand united, the keepers of a flame, promising a future where the art of storytelling endures, transcending the boundaries of time and space. God help us all.
Welcome to Back to the Frame Rate, a proud production of the Weston Media Podcast Network. In this cinematic crusade, we journey through films on VOD and streaming platforms, deciding their fate, salvation in our vault of legends, or eternal banishment to the flames of the coming asteroid apocalypse. You can find all episodes of our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app, or find us on social media at Back to the Frame Rate. I am Nathan Schur, and accompany me, as always, as Sam Cole. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening, Nathan. How are you on this fine winter January 2026 evening?
I am fantastic. Feeling good, and I am excited for tonight's episode where we are going to wrap up 2025. Put it to bed. Are you ready to put 2025 to bed?
I'm ready to put 2025 to bed, but it was a good year in cinema, and then we'll discuss it, and we'll put it to sleep in a nice Holiday Inn in Brainerd, in Fargo from the movie, because I just saw that because it's been on HBO every single night recently.
Oh,
in honor of its 30th anniversary, I believe, 1996, 2026. How about that?
Yeah, wow. I haven't seen Fargo in a while. But,
it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah,
it's a good one.
So for those tuning in tonight, we have a pack show. We're going to do our top 10 of 2025, and we're going to throw in a couple honorable mentions after that as well. A few other superlative categories we're going to get to, and maybe, Sam, we were going over the show before we began tonight. Maybe I will bring up a couple of things movies that we're looking forward to in 2026 as well. I was going to mention this before. I like to throw things at you, Sam, without you being ready for it. That's what makes this fun.
I am always ready. I was born on a military base, and I trained with the CIA as a 3-year-old. It was tough. I met aliens. I went to space, but I am prepared for this podcast, and I'm ready to give it my all tonight, whatever comes my way.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but Sam, I apologize. Last week this was on the agenda and I forgot to get to it, but some of you may know this if you follow Sam on the YouTubes, but Sam, you have a YouTube channel, and there's an announcement you, I think, wanted to make about it. And I want to give you a moment here to talk about that because it's pretty exciting.
Oh, sure. No problem. So I used to have a YouTube channel that was named Walks of World, and it's a traveling adventure show. The show is still going on, but I rebranded the channel. So the new title of the show is Sam's Real World Adventures. Real spelled R-E-E-L. Get it? Like movies. But rebranding, just more like focused and on brand, and many new adventures are on the way. The first up soon is an episode of the filming locations of Jaws 2. The majority of that movie shot on Navarre Beach in Florida. Even though it takes place on Martha's Vineyard, there's a few Martha's Vineyard shots that are peppered in, but that is a 80 to 90% Floridian shot movie. And I went down there and visited the location. So long story short, to wrap it up, the show continues. The show goes on my YouTube channel. It is just now rebranded as Sam's Real World Adventures. Used to be called Walks of World. Check it out. Sam's Real World 1981 is the handle. And yes, the adventure goes on. Woo!
That's great. We will put a link to that in the show notes. Yes?
Yeah, sounds great.
Well, fantastic. All right.
Magical.
Wonderful.
By the way, we were supposed to keep the secret, but we are actually flying to New Zealand next week. Both Nathan and I were doing an episode there. Just kidding. That's a joke. Sorry to get your hopes up. 2026 has hope, but it's not that hopeful.
I was hoping that we'd be trekking through trying to find Mordor or something, but
yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, except if we ran into orcs, that would suck. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I got a little cloak that will keep me invisible. So,
nice. There you go.
It'll warn me. Anyways, all right. Let's begin our top 10 films of 2025. First thing I want to ask you, Sam, how do you when you look at 2025? Do you feel it was a good year for movies? Do you feel like there, compared to previous years?
If I would say I feel it was a good year for movies, a solid good year, like not the most amazing year in the world, but I liked it. I feel honestly, in some ways, it was a bit more robust cinematically than 2024, at least for me, because I saw more this year. But so that might be a part of it. But I don't know. I would say decent. I feel relatively positively towards 2025 movies. I think there's a lot of good ones. In the ultimate like echelon mountain, it's like somewhere in like the mid slopes, like at a nice place, like having a drink, All
right. All right. Well, we're going to be counting down from 10 to 1. And we talked beforehand, if any of the movies double up on our list, we will both bring them up at that point as well. So that way we don't have to keep like talking about it over and over. So who would like to begin? Do you want me to go first? Would you like to go first, Sam? How shall we?
I think you should go first, as it will set the epic tone for the future.
Okay.
And no pressure at all, but all the hopes of 2026 and beyond, and our planet and society as a future are on you in this moment, Nathan.
Okay,
so
at this very moment,
do your best. Yeah.
This is my number 10. So there's always at least one big popcorn movie that sneaks into my top 10 every year. And this year, that spot belongs to F1, the movie. A lot of people have joked that this is basically Top Gun Maverick on 4 wheels. And yeah, I can't argue with that. But when I look back at, a lot of the action movies that came out that promised excitement and adrenaline and, a lot of great stunt work and that full body, like theater rattling sound, F1 is the movie that I think about the most that delivered that. And I think it was a real return to action star mode for Brad Pitt in this. In fully leading man action movie territory. And I realized that I missed him in this role. It's been a long time. He's done a lot of indie stuff. He's kind of disappeared for periods of time. So it was really wonderful seeing him in this movie. Is this movie perfect? No, not at all. It is a very conventional story, but I had a great time. It was one of the most fun times I had in a theater all year. So yes, it was the most fun I probably had in a packed movie house all year. So that is my number 10.
Oh man, that is awesome. I loved that movie, and it came so close to like being in my top 10. And like, I hear you. Like I'm on the similar page. It was a tough, like that's an honorable mention for me because I highly enjoyed that as well. Mm-hmm. I saw it in IMAX, just like the sound and the races, like it was just like such feel good, like joyous entertainment,
And even though you said like totally great. And it makes you just want to buy a lot of Apple products, doesn't it?
It does. Absolutely.
Sam, what's your number 10?
So my 10, and this just squeezed in. There's actually a battle, an honorable mention to The Conjuring: Last Rites, which I really liked. That would be number 11, but 10, just beating it out by inches for the 10 spot, was actually Jurassic World Rebirth. And I really enjoyed it. I think Gareth Edwards is like really good with dynamic action scenes. I was not the hugest fan of the climax, but I liked the majority of the movie. And I thought Jurassic World Dominion was terrible, like probably the worst. And so I thought the franchise was dead. So I am a sucker for dinosaurs chasing people and that kind of action. I've always enjoyed that franchise. So this was more back to form. even though it was not perfect, but like it inched into the top 10 list because, like you were saying, in terms of popcorn movies, it just delivered dinosaur action and some ocean action and jungle action and like sneaking around bases action. So I would give it a thumbs up. So Jurassic World, number 10 on my list.
Yeah, I agree, Sam. This was
Rebirth. Yeah.
I was impressed with this film, and I was not looking forward to it. I didn't see this in the theater. I waited to see this on video on demand, but I actually, after Fallen Kingdom, I did not like Fallen Kingdom. I tapped out of this franchise, but I started hearing good buzz about Rebirth, but I figured I had to catch up, and I watched Jurassic Park Dominion.
Oh my God.
To kind of like, well, I got to watch Dominion before I watch Rebirth. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It was worse than Fallen Kingdom. And I'm like,
much worse.
This can't get worse. And I'm like, I dreaded going into Rebirth because I'm like, oh, I was horrified. And
like if I was stuck on a desert island, give me Fallen Kingdom over Dominion any day. Like not the hugest fan of Fallen Kingdom, but Dominion, I will say briefly, committed the sin of assembling that amazing cast and wasting them in the stupidest story. Like we won't get into it, but like, damn, terrible.
I feel like bringing Laura Dern and Sam Neill back for that was just a crime. What they did with those characters. So, just unbelievable. But Jurassic World, maybe it's because I hated Fallen Kingdom and in fact, I did not like any of that trilogy that much. But seeing how low that franchise sank, my expectations were so low with Rebirth that maybe it is not a great movie, but wow, it's so much better than what came before it. So it might be the second best Jurassic movie actually.
And it was its own good like standalone movie too. It wasn't like related to the in like detail. I totally hear you. I like the first, like I really like Jurassic World a lot, but I'm with you on true that.
Okay, we're going on to number 9. So my number 9 film of 2025 is Train Dreams, which is directed by Clint Bentley. Have you seen this, Sam?
I have not seen it. I've wanted to see it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So he was also the co-writer on last year's phenomenal Sing Sing, which I think a lot of people did not see. It kind of flew under the radar. So Train Dreams is it's this really quiet, beautiful film starring Joel Edgerton as he's like a frontiersman living in the Pacific Northwest in the early 20th century. And Bentley, he's very clearly reaching for something in the vein of like a classic Terrence Malick type film, like Days of Heaven or Badlands. And for me, it's very meditative, poetic, approach to filmmaking. And the film just really struck this deep chord because this winter I've been reading Walden by Henry David Thoreau, actually. Cool. And both works share this preoccupation with solitude and nature and the human cost of modern progress, and from very different vantage points. But so this movie is very slow, meandering, and it's really heartfelt. And by the way, a huge shout out to William H. Macy as this fellow logger and friend to the Joel Edgerton character. He's incredible in the few scenes that he's in. But I generally don't understand how there isn't more best supporting actor buzz for William H. Macy, but so his performance is just wonderful. But this was a great film, slow but just really heartfelt. I really recommend it. I hope it gets some nominations. We'll see. We'll know in a couple weeks.
I really want to see that. I've seen the poster intrigued me too. Like I've heard a lot about it. Where is that? Like
on Netflix. Netflix.
Oh, nice. It's on Netflix. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that out. I may even watch that tonight. That's how much I want to see that movie.
Yeah. Sam, what is your number 9?
So my number 9 is the original eerie horror film Good Boy. I just watched it recently. It's all told from the dog's perspective. And quite frankly, there are a lot of long shots on the dog. Like, I'm amazed by the dog's quote unquote acting, even though I'm sure it's like not aware that it's in an actual movie. But I was impressed. Not like perfect, but the concept was so original, and I found it very eerie. Like, I will not give away like what happens, but I will just say that like the dog is tuned in to like sixth sense that his human like companion / owner is not. So the dog is like noticing strange sounds and like connects with the spirit of this other dog, and like something wrong and haunted is going on where they live, and the dog is noticing it and is terrified. But really well done, suspenseful, just unique, original. Like I just kind of applaud its like original concept, and it was very effective. So yeah, good boy for sure. Number 9.
So good. The dog's name is Indy. He plays himself. Indy has actually won awards.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Amazing.
I didn't know this was a thing. Animals can win awards. Is the Ostra Film Awards won Best Performance in a Horror or Thriller, the Austin Film Critics Association Special Award, and the Boston Society of Film Critics Best in Show for Best Animal Performance. And this answers my question: how much of Indy's performance is real or CG? You know, but
you know what I think. My guess, and I have no idea, but my guess is it's all real, but I bet there was a ton of like added layers of sound editing, because I feel like people off camera are like guiding him or making sounds, or like I have no idea how he was trained, but like the dog does a lot.
Wow.
Like if there is CG on the dog, I didn't notice it unless it's like an over his shoulder shot when he's like going up some stairs or something, but like it looked pretty real.
I really do want to see this. Yeah.
It's good. Great. It's enjoyable. I liked it. Yeah. Original for sure.
All right. We're going to go to our number 8 movies. My number 8 movie of the year is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. So this is the 3rd installment in the mystery series starring Daniel Craig as I think is a very entertaining performance as Private Detective Benoit Blanc. I still think the first Knives Out might be my favorite of the trilogy, but this one is running almost neck and neck with it. So as with all these films, I think the cast is always absolutely stacked in these. But for me, it just feels like I think a star-turning performance for Josh O'Connor, who is really the star of this movie. He's having an unbelievable run right now. Last year he was in Challengers. There's this movie, and also The Mastermind he was in this year as well, which I saw recently. It's a new Kelly Reichardt movie. But what really elevates, I think, Wake Up Dead Man over some of the other Knives Out films is that the central mystery is this true like puzzle box. It's more than just a clever whodunit. It really is digging into questions of faith and hypocrisy and the like moral corruption in ways that I think just are surprisingly weighty for such an entertaining genre exercise. So it is really funny, this movie. And Josh Brolin is so good in this, playing like Monsignor. What was this? I forget his name.
Monsignor Wicks, is it?
Wicks, yeah.
Yeah.
He is just like
I loved it, yeah.
So had a great time with this movie, and I did not know where this movie was going at all. So this was a very entertaining ride. My number 8. Did you saw this?
It is. Yes, this is actually on my list. Should I say what number it is?
Yeah,
that was my number 5 actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I loved it, and I enjoy it as well. I don't know. I would have to see the first one again. I love the first one. I think it might be like a close second to the first one, but I definitely think I like this one, Wake Up Dead Men, better than Glass Onion, I believe it was called. I saw the second film only once in the theater. I remember liking it, but it's been a little while and I don't remember it as well.
I think Glass Onion was hampered by it being a COVID shoot as well.
That's right. Yeah.
I remember that was a story that Ryan John interview he gave, that it was hard to shoot it because it was shot during the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, this and I've seen this movie now twice as well. So
yeah, me too. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, there's so much detail. Like, yeah. Like in terms of just like the script and like plants and payoff and all that stuff. Like, it's good stuff.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go on to our number 7 movie. Mine is.
Wait, I did not do my 8.
Oh, sorry. That's right. I kept thinking you were talking, but
8 is great. Can you relate? No, sorry. My number 8 would be Bob Odenkirk in Nobody 2. I love this movie. The first one, Nobody, is just like ultra violent. Just like it's sort of like Bob Odenkirk's own sort of John Wickish movie, but like totally different, but humorous. Second one, a little bit sillier, but just over the top action, like just super brutal, like bitingly funny, perfect, like action summer R-rated comedy. When I saw the trailer for this back in the spring, I was very excited for the film, and it did not disappoint. So yeah, that is my number 8. Nobody 2. Check it out.
I want to get to this. Have you seen any of the marketing for the next one coming out, Normal, which I think is in a similar type of movie? Well, it's a crime thriller with Bob Odenkirk. So he's really kind of leading into the old man, like action movie type thing. Yeah. It might be the next Liam Neeson. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was just great. And like, he's just, when his character gets pissed off, it's hilarious.
And speaking of Bob Odenkirk, I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before. It has taken me years and years, but I finally finished Better Call Saul, which I was very rewarding to find.
Oh, that show is incredible. Yeah.
Yes. I just finished it in the last week. So
oh, nice. Wow.
I'm very happy about that.
A journey.
It was a journey, but I get through TV shows so slowly. But, all right.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I did watch Nobody this past summer, so I do want to get to Nobody too. I
think you'll like it. It's sillier. It goes over the top in a silly way, but it's fun.
All right. My number 7 film of 2025 is Blue Moon from Richard Linklater. And interestingly, Linklater released 2 films theatrically in the US just weeks apart this fall. The other was Nouvelle Vague. Both center on eccentric artists in very different points of their creative lives. And that Nouvelle Vague follows Jean-Luc Godard at the dawn of his revolutionary career, just while he's making Breathless. But this one is focuses on Lorenz Hart, portrayed by Ethan Hawke, at the moment of kind of like a reckoning for him. Now, Lorenz Hart might not immediately ring a bell. He's a real person, but you've most certainly heard of the work that followed him. You know, you've heard of Richard Rodgers, who would later form Rodgers and Hammerstein, giving us like Oklahoma, The Sound of Music, and many others you probably heard of. But before Rodgers and Hammerstein, there was Rodgers and Hart. And that collaboration, you know, had some brilliant output, but he left Hart behind, and Hart really had a tragic life after that. So what makes Blue Moon really fascinating is that this film plays like a stage production. It's unfolding nearly all in real time, and in one location at this restaurant in Sardis on the opening night of Oklahoma. So over the course of the evening, Hart, you know, Ethan Hawke's character, is wrestling with the jealousy and insecurity and like loneliness and all the regret, seeing his friend who's moved on to this great success. And it's just this really amazing character study. And Ethan Hawke delivers, I think, one of the performances of the year in a role that you've really never seen him in before. It's of a real life character. So you've seen Ethan Hawke play I think a very similar roles in movies, and this is something completely different. So wow. I think it's a fantastic performance. He's playing against type in many ways. So I highly recommend this. It's a very sad, tragic movie in a lot of ways, but I highly recommend it.
I love Richard Linklater. I have not seen this yet, so I'm just making sure that's on my list because I have some catch-up films to watch.
Yeah. Okay. On to you, Sam. You're number 7.
So my number 7 would be Marty Supreme. I just saw that last night, actually, and highly entertaining. What's fascinating to me is like Timothy Chalamet's, who he's portraying, is kind of a jerk, like a hustling, compulsive liar, but. Just a fascinating character, and the tonality of the film kind of reminded me in moments of Uncut Gems a little bit with Adam Sandler when there's like frantic yelling and chaos. I enjoyed the movie. It was certainly unpredictable, and it's just its narrative nature. I thought Gwyneth Paltrow was great, and I'd heard. I mean, I actually, honestly, to be honest, wasn't that interested in it. And I heard a lot of buzz and just very positive reviews. So I went and saw it, and it was definitely a fun, strange, unique ride. And it's one of those movies where I see it, but I'm still thinking about it days later and may watch it again. It's definitely not one of those films that you watch and you enjoy and it evaporates right after. So I recommend Marty Supreme in theaters now.
Yeah. I saw it about a week ago as well. I was much more lukewarm on it, I think, and I heard a lot of people really liked it. I had a hard time. I mean, Marty, the character of Marty, not. I don't know how to be nice about it, but he's an asshole, and
no, he is. He totally is.
And I couldn't root for him. In fact, the person I wanted to root for was everybody else who he treats like crap in this movie. And it was difficult to sit through 2.5 hours of this film when I don't know where my allegiances were with this. And I'm not going to spoil anything about this movie, but I'm still kind of grappling with what is this movie really saying at the end of it. I think it is, we're supposed to think something about, has he grown at all at the very end of this? Because I think it's trying to make us think that there's some sort of reckoning that he's gone through in the last shot of this movie. And right. I don't know if I buy it. That's the thing. And I felt like I sat through a lot, and I don't know if he really is a changed person. So I won't say anything more because I don't want to teeter on any spoilers, but I am not sure if I buy what I'm being sold in that. And it's I think there's some other people that I've read reviews that I've seen that sentiment as well. But anyways, yeah, it was hard to watch a movie about a terrible person for 2.5 hours, treat people terribly.
See, that's interesting because I thought I don't think the end was, and I won't give it away, necessarily a reckoning. I just think he was overcome with emotion in the situation. But I think it was also a really good film because it was like a character study sort of him. And I thought it made it unique because he was an asshole. That's what made the movie stand out. Otherwise, it would have been more felt to me like a standard biopic of, a nice guy. And I've sort of seen a lot of those films before, you know what I mean? And so it was this weird, unique blend that did that. And there are I didn't think it was amazing, but I found it entertaining, and there was enough shock value moments in it. Yeah. I will simply say that a bathtub crashes through, and I just could not believe this movie's wild.
There are some crazy moments, and I thought it was amazingly well done. I think Timothy Chalamet was fantastic in it. The cast is great. The performances, the filmmaking is fantastic. Whoa, by the way, what did you think of the soundtrack? The 80s soundtrack?
It was fascinating. It did in a good way. It drew attention to itself because it's wait a minute, this is the 50s and the music is from the 80s. Of course you can do that because it's done all the time, but it was just sort of strange, but I did like the soundtrack. I thought it helped. I actually enjoyed it as odd or unique of a choice as it was.
Yeah. Well, it's worth it. I think it's great filmmaking on display in this movie. That's for sure. I heard
a rumor. I don't know if this article is true, and I won't get it away, but you will get this. I heard that the director actually planned for one of the characters to be an actual vampire. And the movie cuts to the 80s, and then like he runs into the vampire again and gets bit, and the studio was like, "Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous." Yeah, I totally read that somewhere.
I know who you're talking about. Who it's not. Well, we won't get into it. We never really got into this movie as a full review. Actually, this would have been a wonderful review if we haven't ever done it, because this movie has a lot of multitudes. But anyways,
for sure.
Anyways, we'll move on. But we'll get to our number 6 picks here. My number 6 film of 2025 is Ephes, from director Carson Lund. Now, there's something about baseball movies that speak to me. I think one of my all-time favorite movies is The Natural, and I hold a lot of others close to me too. I like Bull Durham and Field of Dreams, Major League. These are movies I grew up on, and honestly, I'm even a sucker for plenty of lesser regarded baseball movies. Like I think Mr. Baseball, I've seen like 10 times growing up. So it's, if baseball is the hook, I'm probably in. But what I've always loved about great baseball films is that the drama is never really about the game itself, because it's a slow sport. The emotional weight lives in the margins. It's in the pauses, the silences. It's what's going through the players' heads between the pitches. It's not about the balls and the strikes. It's about their lives and the players' regrets and hopes and time slipping by. And Ephes taps right into this idea better than any baseball movie I've ever seen. And the film follows these two teams of mostly middle-aged men playing one final game on a field that's about to be demolished, turned into a parking lot. Oof. And this knowledge that this is the last game that they ever play together. And for some, the last game they may ever play again as in their lives, brings these themes of mortality, quietly into focus. And it's really heavy in that sense. But it's never indulgent in this. And it's just feels very like a genuine, very in a funny movie. And it just really understands baseball and life. And it's very bittersweet. And it's also ridiculous at times. And I will say that I know people that were in this movie and it made it too. So I will have to put that out there as well, because it was shot locally. But it was, I really enjoyed this movie. It felt like home to me seeing this. So shout out to, I'm not going to name names, but shout out to my friends and that worked on this. But it was wonderful seeing this.
I got to check that out. I've heard good things. I have not seen the film.
Yeah. All right. Your number 6.
So my number 6 would be none other than Avatar: Fire and Ash. I love the
3.5 star movie for you, barely, Sam.
It was a 3.5 star, yeah, but it's on a different value scale. But my number 6 would definitely be Avatar: Fire and Ash. I love the franchise. I at this moment, I still like The Way of Water more. And there was definitely some repetitive elements in the story, but like overall, I enjoyed it. And I really, really want the franchise to continue, because I wish very much to get to Avatar 4. Fascinated by the story, by that, like the direction that story is headed in. But yeah, this would be my number 6. Still unbelievably spectacular visuals and emotion as always. And I would definitely recommend seeing it in IMAX 3D, the format it is intended for.
Okay. All right. I have nothing else to add. Solid pick. All right.
Because when I mentioned IMAX 3D,
well, you got into someone.
Yeah, no, you threw me under the bus. You're like, well, I watch it for the story, but like all filmmakers were watching, value technical stuff, so I didn't really appreciate that disrespectful comment.
All right. My number 5.
Apologize. You're just gonna fucking laugh over there.
I'm going to go to my number 5 is what I'm going to do.
How about an apology first?
I'm going to go to my number 5.
How about an apology?
I'm going to number 5. My number 5.
All right. I'll see you later. So I know had I asked for it in a more respectful manner, I probably would have gotten an apology. But yeah, I don't. So you're saying that IMAX 3D is not necessary for watching that film?
Well, I wish I saw it in IMAX 3D.
Okay, cool. That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
We could have avoided this whole thing.
No, I would have liked to. I just had a free ticket.
Oh, yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
So my number 5 of 2025 goes to Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro. One of my biggest regrets of the year, I was saying, is not seeing this in the theater. Why couldn't this be an IMAX 3D? That would have been cool. I adored this film. Del Toro has always thrived in this gothic sandbox. Crimson Peak we reviewed a couple years ago.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Shape of Water, Nightmare Alley. I think even Pan's Labyrinth might tap into this a little bit, but I think this story truly feels destined for him. Frankenstein, probably the original gothic tale. You can feel his reverence for the original novel in this Mary Shelley's novel. It's been decades since I read the book. I think I had to read it I probably read it in college or high school. I don't know, but he really draws from the source material well, but still kind of makes his own choices in it as well. Sam, did you see this? I don't know if we ever talked about it.
Frankenstein?
Yeah.
I haven't. No, I really want to.
All right. So this Jacob Elordi plays the monster himself in this, and it's kind of comical because Jacob Elordi, yes, he's got the stature for it. He's like 6'5" or 6'4". He's a tall actor, but he is way too good looking, I think, to play the the monster. He's a handsome man. So I always think of him as like the hot emo Frankenstein monster. It's
right.
Hysterical. And they don't really do much to hide his attractiveness in this, so it's pretty funny. But anyway, I'm kind of
interesting choice. Yeah.
So Del Toro, but he kind of leans into it in this movie a lot. So he gives a really good performance. Elordi.
It looks really good. I gotta see it. Yeah.
The whole movie is just drenched in atmosphere, and it's lush, it's moody, it's almost painterly, and it's just a visual feast. I would have loved to have seen this on a massive screen. That's the thing. When I think about this, and I think about how it was a year or two ago, Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, that got a gigantic release, and it makes me sad, that Netflix, because the way they strike deals with directors, with Del Toro, this only got a really limited theatrical release. It did go to some theaters. I know it was showing at some, but a movie like Nosferatu, great theatrical experience, but I would love to have had more opportunities to have seen this on the big screen because it deserved it. So
sounds like it'd be perfect for the big screen, like a no brainer visually. Like absolutely. Del Toro, he's amazing.
Yeah, and it's sad that like a director like Del Toro now is kind of locked in with these Netflix deals. So,
and I know it's opening a can of worms. I will only say that like Netflix and their release schedule window to theaters just like kills my soul.
I know. I'm holding out hope that with the purchase of Warner Brothers, maybe they will do some sort of limited 4-week window. I think actually next year there's a movie coming out that they say will have a 4-week exclusive window. I have to look at my notes here. I forget which one it is. I'm not sure. I have to go back to it again, but I think there is going to be like a 4-week window in Netflix release. Then it's going straight to Netflix, but I'll get back to that. Anyways, Frankenstein. Excellent. Sam, what's your number 5?
My number 5 was Wake Up Dead Man, which we have discussed. Oh, yeah. Thumbs up to Wake Up Dead Man. Arguably the best in the in the 3, even though I might like the first the best, but I don't know. The third one's impressive.
Yeah. Number 4 for me is Sinners from Ryan Coogler. And I think Sinners is very close to a perfect movie, maybe 90%, and easily one of the best times I had in the theater all year. It's got everything I want, firing in all cylinders, a fantastic cast, incredible soundtrack, great cinematography. It's got this confident filmmaking going on with it. Big budget genre movie, with real intention, smart writing, thematic way. It's the kind of, how should I put it? Like, I don't know. It just reminds me of, how powerful the scale of filmmaking can be when it's done right. That said, this probably would have ranked higher for me if not for the final 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not going to spoil anything in this movie, but the way the central conflict ultimately resolves, I feel, was a little too conventional.
Yes, I could not agree more. Sorry.
That is the only thing. Everybody knows by now this is a vampire movie. But I feel like the way that the central conflict is resolved, and there's an epilogue sort of in this movie that I don't like, that takes us to a different time period that I just kind of like, I didn't need it. It would have been better if it was maybe like something like a post-credit scene, perhaps. But those two things right there took it down a few notches for me. I love it as strictly a period piece, and I wish it was equally as inventive about how it wrapped up the main conflict. And it just, it kind of left me feeling like, it's conventional vampire thing happened. So that's my only real gripe with it. But I love Michael B. Jordan in this, playing two roles, Smokes and Stack, and all the ensemble cast in this is fantastic. Love all of it. Love everything that happens in this, but that's ending a little bit underwhelming.
I totally agree 1,000% on the ending, even though it is my, it wobbled in spaces, but Sinners is my number 2, actually.
Okay.
May have almost been 3, but they go back and forth. But yeah, I 100% agree. Amazing movie. The ending was, like you said, not bad, but just like standard vampire, like da 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 da. It just was like, after all that buildup, I thought it was kind of abrupt.
Kind of hit typical beats of what I thought was going to happen. That's
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I hear that.
All right. I'm sorry. I keep stealing your thunder on some of these picks here. So
no, it's all good.
All right. Are we on to your number 4?
My number 4 would be the documentary film, The Age of Disclosure. I was fascinated by this movie. It's funny. I just looked it up, and on Rotten Tomatoes, it has 28%, but I think that's some literally type of like smear campaign or something. Cause this movie is all about like the disclosure of like UFOs. And in all of those documentaries that I've seen about that subject, which I'm fascinated by, this one, for many reasons, had the most like legitimacy. And I was very like impressed. Like I'd heard about it on CNN when they were like interviewing the director and stuff. And so I would recommend, and it's kind of, if you believe in what they're talking about, you'll love it. If you won't, if you don't, it doesn't change your mind at all. But I found it fascinating because I love that type of thing. So that was my number 4. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up.
Okay. I've never even heard of this. Where is this streaming?
You have to rent it on, I think you have to rent it, like pay for it on whatever streaming service, but Amazon.
Okay.
Perhaps. Yeah.
All right. We're on to my number 3 of 2025 is Weapons. And
so is mine. Awesome.
All right. I'm a little shocked that how high this landed on my list. Because this was off my radar completely until like it started, like everybody was talking about it in the end of the summer. I'm not the biggest horror fan, and it usually takes something truly special for horror to even crack my top 10, let alone end up at number 3. But Weapons is doing far more than just jump scares and creepy imagery. And what really stayed with me is that this film is grappling with shared trauma And I think the failure of institutions, of public schools and law enforcement and authority figures, and how these systems, collapse when faced with, I guess like unanswered questions. The real horror isn't here isn't just what happens, but how people are forced to reckon with the trauma when there's no clean resolution. I love the ending of this movie, by the way. There's no explanation, no comforting answers. And the way that lingers is what makes this film creepy and generally haunting to me. And I'm not trying to get heady with all this, but it's honestly, I think it's just why this movie is so powerful. It worked for me. So Zach Kreger is the director. He previously did Barbarian, which I thought was a pretty well-made horror film. Not my favorite, but I think this movie's a lot more confident, more ambitious, more unsettling. I will never again look at just like an empty black doorway again when I get creeped out now. He's doing the new Resident Evil reboot also later this year.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So I'm looking forward to what he does with that. So yeah, Weapons. I could talk a long time about Weapons. I think there's a lot to this film, but yeah.
I loved it. I liked its narrative style of how it told the story from different people's perspectives and skipped around in time. It worked for that. I love the ending too. And just the tone of the movie. The movie was disturbingly unsettling too. Like you said, not just jump scares and terrifying moments. So yeah, thumbs up. Weapons.
Okay.
Both number 3. How about that?
Great. All right. Number 2. You already talked about your number 2. What was it again?
It was Sinners. And it was honestly a tough choice between that and Weapons. And honestly, I'm not going to change it, but that may switch in time.
Right. So number 2 is One Battle After Another. And Sam, I think you and I think we already gushed about this movie a couple episodes ago. So I won't waste too much time in this because we talked extensively about this a couple episodes ago. But this, I think, is a masterpiece in every sense of the word. I've seen this movie twice in the theater. It was even better the second time watching it. I'm willing to go as far as say I think this is PTA's best movie as I've sat with this. But sadly, I'm not a completist. I'm yet to still see Inherent Vice. I need to watch that at some point. But as far as the other films go, this has taken over the top spot, I think, away from The Master, which was my favorite one prior to this. But
I love The Master. Yeah, I love this movie too.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not going to go any more about this. We talked for 15 minutes the last time about this. So One Battle After Another is my number 2. So my number 1, I don't think anyone probably will have guessed this, but my number 1 of 2025, it's this might surprise you, Sam, but it's a film that no one is really talking about anymore. And it came out early in the year after multiple delays. Talk about Mickey 17.
That is your number 1?
Yeah.
No way. Wow. We saw that. Yeah.
We did. Because I gave this 5 out of 5 when I saw it in the theater back then. And I'm a staunch defender of this movie. And I'll admit that the messaging of this movie is heavy-handed at times, but I find it completely forgivable. This is a science fiction. It's satire. It's comedy. It's supposed to be strange, absurd, and occasionally ridiculous. And this movie stars Robert Pattinson as Mickey versions 1 through 17. I think he's phenomenal in this, and it features 2 of my favorite supporting performances of the year: Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette as these pair of egomaniacal spouses, political figures, and I found them endlessly entertaining. And I think the story is completely wild and ironically very prescient and drawing some very pointed parallels to our current political landscape. I'll kind of leave it at that. And it's bombastic and bizarre and surreal and it's funny. I just wish more people have seen the brilliance in this movie, because I think that this movie has just been forgotten. There's no awards attention, no real conversation. I think this movie is wonderful. I don't know. That's it. Yeah, it's stuck with me all year. I can't help it. It is my number one. And I'm on my island alone with my 4K of Mickey 17. All right, Sam, we're going on to your number one movie of 2025.
My number one movie of 2025. This might come as a shock, but it was the remake. No, I'm just kidding. It was One Battle After Another. We've already discussed that movie into the ground. So yeah, that was my number one.
All right.
Woohoo, PT. Great job. Woo. I've seen it 3 times now, and twice in the theater. Then I showed it to my dad at home. He loved it. And yeah, just well made, very like good, terrifyingly accurate social commentary, epic. A father searches for a daughter. Like I love the scale of the movie. Ambitious, crazy soundtrack, and Benicio del Toro's performance is amazing as well.
Yes.
2 thumbs up, enthusiastic. Great. Chicago Sun-Times approved. Yeah.
That's our top 10 movies of 2025. If you like, send us in your top 10 movies. We would love to know what yours were and compare it to ours. Let us know what you think of our top 10. You know, are we way off base? Are our picks completely insane? They probably are, but we want to know. All right. We're going to take a quick little break. We're going to come back with a few honorable mentions and some superlatives, and we'll continue the show.
Rise and shine.
Hi. What's up? What's up, homie? It's me again, Bob Ferguson. I don't know if you remember, but we spoke earlier on the phone. I think we had a little misunderstanding. I think we got off on the wrong foot. I was trying to get the rendezvous point for my daughter,
right.
Willa.
If you can't answer what time is it, I cannot give you the rendezvous point. This is a key tenet of the rebellion. I'm surprised you can't name it. I don't know if you are who you say you are.
Okay. Well, look, maybe I can give you some information, and then you give me some information, all right? We'll just share a little information. My name is Bob Ferguson. I don't know if you've ever heard of me, all right? I was part of French 75 for years and years, all right? They used to call me Ghetto Pat, Rocket Man, stuff like that. Only problem is I fried my brain since then, man. I have abused drugs and alcohol for the past 30 years, man. I'm a drug and alcohol lover, and I cannot remember for the life of me or the life of my only child the answer to your question, what time is it?
8:15.
Now, I need this rendezvous point. You understand what I'm saying? I need it.
I understand. And the question is, what time is it?
If you don't give me the rendezvous point, I swear to God, I will hunt you down and stick a loaded fucking hot piece of dynamite right up your fucking asshole.
All right, Sam, we're going to do a few honorable mentions and a couple superlative categories. Sam, what did not make your list? I know you mentioned a few while we were going through our top 10. Any other movies you mentioned?
Conjuring Last Rites. I mentioned that briefly. I enjoyed that, was not blown away by it, but I love the characters so much that it's definitely worth watching. Almost made the list, but not quite.
I am so behind on the Conjureverse. I will have to catch up at some point.
You'll enjoy. I like the tone. It's not like slasher horror. It's more like spooky, demonic, undertow terror, but like great performances.
Mm. I have 2 or 3. I'll mention one here. One of them is If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Have you heard of this?
I have not. No,
all right,
not
so
sure.
I'd say it's an impactful little film from Mary Bronstein is the director, and features maybe the best female acting performance of the year I saw from Rose Byrne. She plays a single mother raising a daughter who has this serious health issue, and she's doing everything in her power to keep it together. Rose Byrne actually just won a Golden Globe for Best Actress in a musical or comedy. So yeah, she's really good in this. Also be on the lookout for Conan O'Brien, who has a rare dramatic cameo in.
I've seen that clip. Film. Yes.
Yeah. So this is not an easy watch, but it's worth it for Rose Byrne's performance in this. So yeah, I won't say I had a good time with this, but it was a really good film and it just missed my list.
I will honorably mention briefly the How to Train Your Dragon live action movie. I had no expectations. It was actually like halfway decent. Big fan of Gerard Butler, but they're moving on to the second one. So I'll be watching that for sure.
All right. Another honorable mention that barely missed my list. And I think the criteria for, my top, these honorable mentions is that any one of these could have been my number 10 and it was really hard. This one is The Roses from director Jay Roach and writer Tony McNamara. Now, Jay Roach, I don't know where he's been. I think his last film was 2019's Bombshell, and he's been really quiet of late. What I think is great about this film is that it's a meeting of two really talented individuals who are really working in their wheelhouse. You've got Jay Roach's experience with his comedic sensibilities. He's did all those Austin Powers movies and the Meet the Parents franchise. But this film was written by Tony McNamara, who is the force behind, I think, some of the best Yorgos Lanthimos films, in my opinion, like The Favor and Poor Things. And his dialogue is often very, it's economical and laced with a lot of sarcasm and cruelty and a lot of biting humor. So, which is a perfect subject matter for this movie, which is a loose remake of the 1989 film War of the Roses. But it's also, there was a 1981 novel as well that's what is actually really based on. So it stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman as the married couple in this movie, which their marriage is collapsing. And it's really funny. Yeah, it's got some scenes in it that are really difficult to watch, but it's hysterical. There's a dinner party scene that is by far the scene of the year for me, where I laughed so hard I was crying. I do recommend The Roses. It just missed my list.
I got to see that. I heard good things, and I love the 1989 film as well.
I got one last one I'll mention, and it's John Candy, I Like Me, which I really wanted to fit onto my list because I like to kind of get a documentary in there. Makes me feel maybe a little more hoity-toity if I could get a documentary on there, but I didn't this year. But it's directed by Colin Hanks, and this is a documentary about the life and career of John Candy, as you expect the title would say. It's who by all accounts was an incredible human being and deserved a far better fate. Sad film. It's packed with interviews from a roster of people that worked with him, members of his family. It's got Mel Brooks, Macaulay Culkin, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Catherine O'Hara, many more, all telling these really warm, tender stories of John Candy. It's deeply moving. It's sad, but this movie wrecked me. It really did. It's a hard watch because you can see how difficult his life was and how the industry kind of took advantage of him. So it was difficult, but very, very good documentary using a lot of archival footage, of course. So, but yeah, John Candy, I Like Me. Very well made documentary about his life. Sam, do you have a movie that you would say was your biggest disappointment of this year?
It wasn't the biggest disappointment. I was expecting more from Conjuring Last Rites. I liked it a lot. I thought the focus on the characters were great. I did not think the story was as scary. But it wasn't a huge disappointment, but I was just mildly disappointed. I can't think of anything this year that I had expectations for that I was like, oh man, that was terrible. But that would come close to disappointment, I guess.
I have several candidates for this. One of them could be Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I thought disappointing, but I will say
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Yeah, I enjoyed that, but I didn't even consider that for a 10 list. Just the editing style, but spectacular. Yeah, uneven.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, well, that's not my pick, but it was a runner-up to most disappointing. I think it's a movie that a few episodes ago was something that we said we were looking forward to, and that was The Running Man, the Edgar Wright movie.
That came and went, and I missed it. Like, I wish I had seen it, but I remember you didn't like it that much, and I kind of was like, and the Rotten Tomatoes score was kind of like middling.
As time has passed, this movie, I've soured more and more on this movie. I walked out of it being like, it was okay. It just was like, but I realized that this movie has no soul at all. I don't really understand why Edgar Wright wanted to make this movie. I've listened to interviews about him. He was like, I'm a huge fan of the first one, and he wanted to put make his version of this, but there's nothing about this movie that felt like an Edgar Wright movie. He has this very distinct style of filmmaking, and there's nothing about this movie that felt like it was an Edgar Wright film.
Did it just feel like a generic action movie?
Yes, it felt very generic action movie. And I think of I thought he did a great job with like Baby Driver, or.
Yeah, I liked Baby Driver.
And I could point to other ones, World's End, or there's a combination of humor and action and great writing that he has that this is just void of. I'm not going to get too much into this because there's so much that I think is wrong with this movie. I think Glenn Powell is miscast in this movie as the world's angriest man. Glenn Powell, I think, has a lane that he is good. We disagreed a little bit on Twisters. I remember you were a little disappointed in it. I thought it was a fun ride, but I think Glenn Powell comes off as somebody who is like, he brings the party.
I liked him in Twisters. I mean, when he in Top Gun, he was awesome. Yeah.
But he is like
a happy guy.
But he's the happy, bringing the party. Yeah. And in The Running Man, he is playing the world's most angriest person. And I don't think that he was the right choice for the role.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd like you to see the movie at some point, Sam, and give me your opinion on it, because I think
I wanted to see it. I can't believe I missed it, to be honest. Like, I will watch it soon. And by the way, honorable mention to The World's End. I love that. That's my favorite of the three.
Coronado.
Yeah, I absolutely love that movie. Yeah.
Hot Fuzz is my favorite of those three.
Hot Fuzz is awesome. They're all great. Like, Hot Fuzz is amazing. Yeah. But I hear you. Maybe it's like, sounds like he wanted to do a different style, but didn't quite succeed because it's not his signature style.
All interviews, he made the movie he wanted to.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, that is my biggest disappointment. Sam, do you have a biggest surprise? I know
Weapons. That movie came out of nowhere, and I was like, what is this? And then I heard the buzz, and I went and I saw it, oddly enough, on IMAX, and it was like this cool Friday night, and I was like, wait a minute, this movie is excellent. Like, I was so into it. That is a cinematic experience I won't forget. Even, I'll just say, and this gives nothing away, but like when the witch is like running through like people's houses and the kids are like jumping through glass.
Hey, don't spoil it though. But
yeah, it's like shocking and hilarious at the same time. Like, it's a weird tone in parts.
I that could have been my pick as well. I didn't think about that, but yeah. My biggest surprise, this was hard for me because it wasn't anything that really like blew me away, like came out of nowhere. But I guess what I thought was just going to be a generic run-of-the-mill low-budget sci-fi movie really did impress me, and that was the movie Companion.
Interesting.
Yeah. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen it, no.
Okay. So Companion.
Have you seen 65?
I've seen 64. I can't wait. So that was my pick for biggest surprise of the year. All right, we're going to take one more break. We're going to come back for a few films that we're excited for in 2026.
If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Let's. Today is. Today's.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'm gonna show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All at once.
All right, Sam. Last segment of the night tonight. We're going to talk about a few films that we are looking forward to in 2026. Do you have a list, or do you want to kind of go through it in chronological order, or do you have movies, or what how do you want to do that?
I have movies that they're not numbered, but I do have a few of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just throw one out there.
Throw one out there. Tell me. Maybe it'll hit with me too. Go for it.
I am very interested in seeing Dune Part 3.
Yes.
And one particularly thing that I'm interested in that it just pertains to me is that I read Dune, the novel. I love it. And that's what film 1 and film 2 are based on. There is a second book called Dune Messiah. And for understandable reasons, the movie is going to be named Dune Part 3 instead. I am wondering if this time I should not read that book and just go see Denis Villeneuve's Dune 3 point blank with no knowledge and just watch it. Because I'm going to read that book anyway, and I want to. I just hadn't yet. And so I think he's going to do something unique with that third film. And though the second book I've heard is like thinner than the first book and not quite as good, just in general reviews, I don't think that will pertain anyway to his film. I think that like whatever his vision is for it, Dune Part 3 could have the potential to be like an awesome trilogy ender. I'm interested in it. Yeah.
I have not read any of these books, but is Dune Messiah, is it a direct sequel in the novel to Dune, or
100% direct sequel? Yeah. It like skips ahead a little bit, but it's a sequel. It's with Paul again. Timothy Chalamet, his rule and like the war and his like it's direct continuation. Even I think it skips ahead in time, but sequel for sure.
Okay, I haven't read these. Do you feel that reading the first book somehow affected your experience with the first 2 Dune movies?
In some ways, it usually in good ways, but whenever I read a book beforehand, there's always an oscillation with the viewing experience where I'm watching the movie and thinking about what the book was like and kind of comparing them back and forth in my mind. I did that when I was a kid. When I saw Jurassic Park, I'd read the book beforehand, and I'd never done that before at that age, and so that was like a kind of jarring thing. But I'm glad I read the book. I mean, I love the book. I think it's excellent. But yeah, I'm one way or the other. I might not read the next one until after his film because I just kind of want to go into the movie. I feel like what I'm saying is I feel like knowing nothing about it and just going into Dune Part 3, having no idea what will happen, might make for a better cinematic experience.
I'm going to throw out a movie that I am looking forward to. Oh, by the way, Dune Part 3 comes out in December 18th, same day as Avengers Doomsday. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how that's going to work out.
That's crazy. Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. commented on that because, the whole Barbenheimer thing. He's like, guys, I just want to get this started now. Doomsday.
One of those two movies has to budge.
Yeah, it's like they're going after the same audience too. It's like that's gonna split. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
All right, a movie that I'm going to put out there is Disclosure Day. Steven Spielberg's next movie on June 12th.
Yeah.
And written by David Koepp as well. Jurassic World Rebirth. He wrote that, actually. We were just talking about that. Also wrote some recent Soderbergh films, Presence, Black Bag. Did some of the newer Indiana Jones films, Dial of Destiny, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, War of the Worlds. But we got Emily Blunt, we got Josh O'Connor again, Colin Firth, Eve Hewson, Coleman Domingo. It's Steven Spielberg returning to science fiction and UFOs. That's, I think, all we really know about it right now. But I'm in.
I'm excited. I'm hopeful. Yeah. The trailer is fascinating. Very strange trailer. Hard to know like what to make of it, but that's the point of the trailer, I think.
So we got 6 months, Sam, till Disclosure Day.
I'm excited for it. And now I'm feeling more optimistic towards 2026 because there's some hopeful films coming out in this dark time that we live in. Yep. But I will add, with a bit more reservations, but cautiously optimistic, I hope The Mandalorian and Grogu is fun. There hasn't been a Star Wars film in theaters in 6 years, and this is the first one in 6 years. And I just hope it's entertaining. I hope it's good. I don't know.
Yeah. That trailer does not give me hope though. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it just looks like it doesn't look like TV. Revolutionary. Yeah.
It looks like just another episode to me. I don't know. I was not. The last season of The Mandalorian did not land well with me, so I am not running out to the theater right now unless I feel something different. I don't know.
I wasn't a huge fan of season 3. I loved season 2, but I agree. Season 3 was. This will probably. I'm sure this will be its own separate story after that, but I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic, because I want there to be good Star Wars movies again.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
There's some obvious ones here, but I will.
Like the Odyssey.
Yeah, I mean, I could say the Odyssey, but like the whole world is. But I'm gonna try to do some that aren't as obvious here. Here's one: The Dog Stars, which is the new Ridley Scott movie. This guy is 88 years old. Jesus Christ, like either retire or just make that last Alien movie, because I just want him to wrap up that story. We're never going to get it, though. I know that.
Oh, the one that was supposed to come after Alien Covenant?
I know, but anyways.
I want that movie. Talk about it, like being left hanging, like Jesus. I agree, yeah.
This is his 7th movie in 10 years, or like his 10th movie in 14. This guy would just not stop. But this is not just a small movie. He does big budget epics still at this age. It's crazy.
Yeah.
This has Jacob Elordi again, Margaret Qualley, Josh Brolin, Guy Pearce. He's working with Guy Pearce again. Benedict Wong. This is a post-apocalyptic science fiction film set in the aftermath of a catastrophic flu virus that nearly wipes out humanity, and it follows Jacob Elordi character, who's a civilian pilot, and an ex-Marine played by Josh Brolin, who face invaders and hope for a better life outside their current dwelling. I think it's a little vague what this is about, but I'm really curious by this. It seems like something a little different for Ridley Scott.
Count me in. Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah. I knew very little about that. Yeah, what's it called again? The Dog Stars.
The Dog Stars comes out on August 28th. Can I throw one out there?
Yeah, please do.
All right, I want to give a shout out to The Social Reckoning. Social Reckoning is a sequel to the Social Network, and this is actually directed by Aaron Sorkin.
Really, that's coming out this year. Oh my god! And I would hell yeah that. Yeah.
So, I mean, written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. The last one was a David Fincher film, who is a great filmmaker. So I'm looking forward to this. I have cautious optimism because Aaron Sorkin as a director, his past directing efforts are Being the Ricardos, The Trial of the Chicago 7, and Molly's Game. I'm not going to pass judgment yet, but I feel from past experiences, his stories seem to be much better conveyed when the writing is left to him and experienced directors that know how to share his voice, which is why Fincher was such a perfect match for The Social Network. Now, we know he wasn't available because he was busy working. I think he was busy working on the Adventures of Cliff Booth, which another thing I'm going to mention in a moment. But I could have envisioned somebody like an Adam McKay or a Bennett Miller who did Moneyball, or somebody like that would have been a perfect type of director for this. So I'm a little concerned that Aaron Sorkin, fuck it, I'm going to direct my own thing, and I'm a little concerned. Because this is not I feel like this is not getting the same buzz. It's not going to have the Trent Reznor or Attica Ross score. It's not. It's going to be lesser than.
Yeah, I share the same concern. Yeah, because David Fincher is an incredible director, and like his visual style and their writing, the team they made was like amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
When does that come out?
This comes out on October 9th. So
interesting.
It looks like it's gonna be a theatrical release, and so we'll see. I'm a little like we'll see. I already mentioned it before. Adventures of Cliff Booth, David Fincher film. This was written also by Quentin Tarantino. So I'm interested in this. However, this is a direct to Netflix release. In July, which is just bizarre to me. So I don't know. I mean, we got Brad Pitt reprising his role as Cliff Booth from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I loved that film. And we got Scott Conn in this, Elizabeth Debicki, Timothy Olyphant, Peter Weller in this. Like Peter Weller, it's interesting. Period comedy, drama, sequel to that film. So again, cautiously optimistic, but with the Netflix release, I don't know. And there is no release date for this other than they say it's coming out in July. So shall see.
Interesting. Yeah. What was the last film that he did with, that Fincher directed? Was it Killer?
The Killer. Yeah.
Love that movie. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen that in a theater as well, but
two or three more I'll just mention really quickly. Digger is coming out. The trailers have started hitting.
Oh, with Tom Cruise and
Alejandro Inarritu.
Yes, that looks amazing.
I don't know what it looks like.
I don't know what it looks like, but it could be like with that vague teaser trailer. It piqued my interest.
But the people that are behind this movie is what really has me excited. You got the director, you got Tom Cruise, Sandra Huller, John Goodman, Michael Sturberg, Jesse Plemons, Sophie Wilde, and Riz Ahmed. The cinematographer is Emmanuel Lubezki. He did The Revenant and Birdman, The Tree of Life, Burn After Reading, Children of Men, Sleepy Hollow, Meet Joe Black. I mean, this is like one of the premier cinematographers, and it looks like a dark comedy. So I can't wait for this. I just don't know what it's going to be, but I'm excited. So we'll see. This is his first. Alejandro Inarritu's first big release in 10 years since The Revenant. He did Bardo 4 years ago, which was a kind of a small release. Not many people saw that. I liked it a lot, but he's been quiet of late.
Interesting. I haven't seen Bardo. Would you recommend it? It was good.
Yeah. It's about the film industry as well. So it was cool. It was good. All right. One or two more I just want to mention here, because I'm on a roll here. Let me just kind of go through my list here. I'm not going to talk about The Odyssey, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Christopher Nolan, July 17th. Get your tickets now. Toy Story 5 comes out June 19th.
Yeah, it does.
I think we got to just mention that. This is Andrew Stanton, his first time helming a Pixar animated movie since 2016's Finding Dory. And he did, direct John Carter and WALL-E, Finding Nemo. So he's one of the OG Pixar, directors.
Yeah.
So this is, I'm excited to see him come back and do something. And you got the main cast back coming to do this: Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Joan Cusack. Some new people added to the ensemble: Greta Lee as Lily Pad, Blake Clark as Slinky Dog, famously voiced by Jim Varney.
Good old Jim Varney.
Yep. Ernie Hudson as Combat Carl, Craig Robinson as Atlas, and Conan O'Brien coming up twice now in this podcast as Smarty Pants. So yeah.
That will be successful, I'm guessing.
Oh man, that's gonna make bank big time. I will say, let's see if there's anything else here. I'm just looking at my list. Scream 7 comes out this year. And I don't know, Kevin Williamson is actually directing this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like his first time directing a movie since 1999's Teaching Miss Tingle. He's been writing all these movies, but he hasn't been directing them. So that's interesting. And the last thing I will say, okay, one of my favorite movies of 2023 was Godzilla -1. They just announced this in the last week that a sequel to Godzilla -1 titled Godzilla -0 has a date for November 6th. Same written, directed by Takashi Yamazaki, who did Godzilla -1. I loved that movie so much. And
that movie was great. Yeah. When did that come out? Was that 2023 or 2024?
It was 2023.
Gotcha.
Narnia, The Magician's Nephew, the new Greta Gerwig movie. She's going for the big IP now. That's coming out. I saw, and I already mentioned the new Resident Evil movie. Yeah. Devil Wears Prada 2. Are you first in line for that, Sam?
The first one was, I loved it. I mean, I don't know what the story will be of the second one, but first film, Meryl Streep, that was great.
The Bride. That was another thing I was going to mention. That's Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's kind of a weird retelling of The Bride of Frankenstein with The Bride, exclamation point. So it's The Bride.
The Bride.
The Bride movie it's got Christian Bale and Jesse Buckley. So Peter Sarsgaard, Annette Bening, Jake Gyllenhaal, Penelope Cruz. This looks interesting. I don't know. You should check out the trailer for this if you haven't seen this yet. It looks bizarre. But,
I haven't seen the trailer. Yeah. I'll check it out.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. I think we can end it there. A lot of movies. And I have one other category here that I will say, Sam, that I want to talk to you about. If you had to predict what your favorite movie of 2026 will be, your number one movie, when we do this a year from now, your number one movie, what is it going to be? Future Sam.
Future Sam. I have no way to connect to Future Sam because so many marketed indie films will come out, especially in the fall, that have no marketing yet, and there'll be all these titles that we're not even aware of at this point, which is the case. So I don't know. I will say Toy Story 5. That'll be my favorite. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, closer to reality, it would probably be Dune Part 3, but it has to be really damn good. Okay. But again, I don't know.
I'm gonna mention a movie that I haven't even said yet, and that's gonna be Project Hail Mary. That's gonna be my number one movie of the year.
Which film is that?
The Ryan Gosling movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Outer space movie. I didn't even mention it yet, but that is Lord Miller directed it. It's written by Drew Goddard as well. That comes out only 2 months from now. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
That comes out soon. I literally walked past a poster of that last night.
Yeah. That's gonna be my number one movie. Said it now. All right. And this is always a fun one, Sam. What film is going to win the domestic box office this year?
Oh, I'm going to be, I was about to say, I was going to say The Odyssey, but then Doomsday. I'm just trying to think which is predispositioned to make a lot. I'm going to go with, I'll go with The Odyssey, even though it's probably going to be Doomsday. I don't know. I have no idea.
Domestic box office.
Domestic box office.
Yeah. Domestic box office. Yeah.
Probably Doomsday.
How much is it going to make?
Domestic, I would say 400 something.
Give me a number. I want to know. We're going on the record.
415 million, 0.3.
Okay. I think the film that will win the domestic box office this year will be Super Mario Galaxy. Easily.
Fuck, that's coming out this year. I didn't. Yeah, damn it. You're probably right. Yeah.
Too late. And that's going to make 580 million domestic.
I'm sure it will. The first one was huge. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. It's locked in. Loser buys around. All right. I think we're good tonight. Let's wrap it up.
I'll buy a round. Actually, it's if I don't know if you're going to Vegas this summer, but it's the 30th anniversary of Broken Arrow, and Nick Cage is going to be there, and John Woo is going to be there. It's going to be on the top of the Bellagio. It's I can get you in. It's going to be amazing. That's where I'll buy the drinks of the round that I just lost.
Okay,
because I did not pick Super Mario Galaxy, which is like pretty much you're guaranteed to like swim in gold.
Will Del Roy Lindo be there?
Yes, he will be there.
Okay, good. Then I'll be there. All right. Let's put a fork in 2025 and call it a year. 2026. Here we come.
Woo!
That is our show this week. Back to the Frame Rate is a part of the Western Media Podcast Network. Special thanks to Brian Ellsworth for our show opening. On behalf of all of us, we bid you farewell from the Fallout Shelter. If you're enjoying our show, please subscribe and leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. You will always find our episodes at backtotheframerate.com. This is the end of our transmission.
Don't forget, too, we are broadcasting live from the boat show in Providence. We're going to do a live podcast there. Just kidding.
Boat show.
You're at the Civic Center.
Back to the Frame Rate, signing off.
I want you to know it's over.